Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to episode 25. This is the Off the Dome podcast. This is Baller Nation. I haven't made a podcast episode in a long ass time, and I haven't really been posting on social media a lot in a while. So if you're watching this, thank you, and I'm sorry, honestly. But fuck it, whatever. We're back here. It is the 18th of April. I mean, we went from April Fool's Day to the 18th in like 3 days. I mean, like this shit is just flying by, and it's kind of sad because like literally, bro, like this year is ripping by, and I don't know, it just feels like it's going like hella fast to me. Maybe that's because like less tragic shit's happening. Like in 2020, just like bad shit was happening all the time. Nowadays, it's just like I don't know, we've gotten too comfortable in our ways. But the NBA is rolling on, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it's kind of fun, but the injuries are sort of a bitch. Stephen Curry is the first person that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Stephen Curry. I want to talk about the Boston Celtics, and I want to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, and I want to talk about the Western Conference and the Big Five teams, which one will be eliminated first, because there are five really good teams in the West, and we could see. I mean, I'm thinking we might see two of them get bounced in the first round out of the top five teams in the Western Conference. We might see a couple upsets. This might be the year that happens. Um, Maybe I'll touch on the Washington Wizards because I feel like they're a team that no one really wants or no one's really like talking about right now because while they were shit to start the year off, and this I mean they're bad, but in the Eastern Conference, being bad doesn't mean that you're out of the playoff race. It just doesn't. It means that you're just not a top five seed. You can be a bad team in the Eastern Conference and still be a playoff team. Like that's reality. And for Washington, that works out perfectly. Um, but let's start out with Stephen Curry, because what the fuck are we watching right now? Do you know what this reminds me of? And I'm not trying to disrespect Stephen Curry in any way, shape, or form here. This reminds me of James Harden in like 2017, 2018, when that man like was putting up 40 points every game, and I was like, all right, we're never gonna see this ever again. James Harden's fucking ridiculous. Give him the MVP right now. And a few years later, okay, Stephen Curry, since his injury, Stephen Curry, 32, 36, 37, 41, 32, 38, 53, 42, 33, 47 points. This man's averaging 39.1 points per game over the past 10 games since coming back from his injury. Wait, holy fuck. Stephen Curry's ridiculous. I mean, this man is simply ridiculous. He's shooting 48.6% from downtown. 48% from downtown, bro, on 14 attempts a game? What the fuck is that? That's genuinely ridiculous. I mean, that is stupid. How are you supposed to stop that? How the fuck do you guard that? I mean, I'm like, if Golden State had Klay Thompson, this team would be a legitimate contender in the Western Conference. But injuries are kind of a bitch right now. But I mean, this is what we're watching out of Stephen Curry. I mean, this is prime Steph. We're seeing prime Stephen Curry again. It just doesn't feel the same because well, we've already seen it back in like 2016. You know what I mean? 2016, 2015, when we were watching prime Stephen Curry, it was amazing, and it felt way more amazing than what it feels like right now because we had never seen anybody do the things Stephen Curry was doing. It almost feels like nowadays we're just kind of getting numb to it. I'm out here watching the game, and Stephen Curry is just jacking up three pointer after three pointer, and they're falling, and I'm like, it's just that's Steph Curry. That's what you expect. I think I might have become numb to Stephen Curry's greatness, which is sad, which is unfortunate because that man is. I mean, the shit he does is stupid. I mean, he's the greatest shooter of all time. There's no debate about that. And to put up the kind of points that he's putting up on the efficiency that he's putting up, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see a player ever like that again. I mean, the way the guy does it too. He's not just a good 3-point shooter. There's tons of good 3-point shooters out there. Joe Harris is a great 3-point shooter. But the way Stephen Curry gets his buckets is different than everybody else. Because someone like Joe Harris or a spot up shooter like that, they're going to shoot a high percentage, not because they are the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. I mean, Joe Harris is a great 3-point shooter. I'm just using him as an example. But Joe Harris is going to shoot a high percentage from downtown because he has hella, not all, of course, he's got really good teammates around him, but because all of his shots are just catch and shoot. Stephen Curry, he's shooting a high percentage from downtown, and he is running all over the court trying to find his shot. He's running around the court without the ball. He's running around the court with the ball. Man, this man just runs around and hucks up shots and it goes in. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is, it's ridiculous. And I mean, I love watching the guy play. I love watching the guy play, man. Shout out to Stephen Curry. Um, Another team I'd like to shout out, or another thing I'd like to shout out, the Boston Celtics are starting to ball again, man. They're starting to look really good. They were bad. There was a point this year where I was sitting there thinking, I mean, shit, this team, this team might not even be top 8 in the Eastern Conference, but they've started to turn around. They've beaten the Knicks, or their last loss came against the Philadelphia 76ers. And since then, they've beaten the Knicks. They beat the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, the Blazers, the Lakers, the Warriors. Very good teams there. That one game, the game against the Warriors, 119, 140, or 114, possibly the game of the year from last night. Jason Tatum is amazing. And Jaylen Brown as well is starting to step up a lot. They almost blew that game against the Lakers. That the game against the Lakers a few nights ago, it was like the Lakers made a crazy comeback in the fourth quarter. But Jaylen Brown just does what Jaylen Brown does. He's one of the best players in the world right now, and shit. At the end of this year, or I think before the playoffs start, I'm gonna react to my top 50 and 50 I made before the season started, and I already know that my placement of Jaylen Brown was embarrassingly low. I'm not looking forward to doing that at all. The Boston Celtics are starting to figure it out, and this is a team that in Boston, if they can't figure it out, bro, if they are able to figure it out, by the time playoffs come around, and in the playoffs, if they're still fit, if they're still balling out and they're clicking on all cylinders, this is the type of team that I've been saying has the kind of talent that can possibly make a run to the Eastern Conference Finals. Because shit, I mean, Philadelphia's really nice, and Brooklyn's really nice, Milwaukee's really nice, but the way I see it, and I'm going to talk about this a bit later, the way I see it, those teams, they all have a mistake in them. They've all got a choke job in them. They do, in my opinion. All those teams, they've got. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that I could see it happening and not really be like caught completely off guard. Moving on, Philadelphia 76ers. I want to talk about Philadelphia because I think that this team gets a lot of hate, and I understand the hate the Philadelphia gets. Philadelphia 76er fans piss me off a lot. Um, but I think the funnier thing is seeing how mad Boston Celtic fans get at Philadelphia 76ers. It's kind of funny because the Celtics, I feel like this is a good bit of rivalry between those two teams. Between the Celtics and 76ers, good bit of rivalry. But it's so funny seeing how triggered Celtics fans get at how good the Philadelphia 76ers are. I mean, I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm probably gonna catch a lot of heat for this. But I think Ben Simmons is low key pretty good. I mean, he's good. Ben Simmons is, I mean, he's not as good, but this man, he can ball. And he's a very good player. And he's the kind of player that Philadelphia, they look good enough that they look good enough that they could possibly win a championship this year. I think I'm gonna come out and say that. That's my hot take. That's my hot take this episode. Philadelphia looks like a team that can win a championship, not next year, not the year after next year, but this fucking year. And Ben Simmons looks like the kind of guy who can get that shit done. And Joel Embiid looks like the kind of guy who can get that shit done. Okay, now I'm not a 76er fan. I never have been. I have no ties to the team. I don't even like that team that much. But from what I'm seeing a team in the Eastern Conference that no one really wants to give a lot of credit to. I'm seeing a team in the Eastern Conference that everyone's sort of sitting around and waiting for them to slip up and start falling in the standings. I'm seeing a team in the Eastern Conference that has been facing a lot of criticism, a lot of backlash all year long. But I'm seeing a team right now that I could see beating the Brooklyn Nets, and I could see that'd be a tough series against the Lakers. But like I said, the NBA is fucking crazy. Shit happens. If the Miami Heat can make the finals last year, the 76ers can make the finals this year. That's all I'm going to say. And I like Brooklyn. Brooklyn's my pick to come out of the East right now. They definitely are. But the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm not going to write them off. I'm not going to write Philadelphia off because I'm watching the way they're playing, and I'm watching the fact that, listen, Joel Embiid, I think probably should be MVP, even though I'm a big Nikola Jokic fan and Joel Embiid has been a little bit hurt. I mean, I'm looking at Joel Embiid and I'm like, shit, this man, he deserves to be MVP. I mean, he's come back and he's still balling up to this day. Um, and Ben Simmons could fuck around and win Defensive Player of the Year. He really could. I love me some Rudy Gobert. I think Gobert is extremely overhated. He's my pick to win Defensive Player of the Year. But honestly, if they give it to Ben Simmons at this point in the year, I wouldn't really care because Ben Simmons can ball, and they get a lot of criticism, both of those players, especially Ben Simmons. But I'm kind of back Ben Simmons up here. I think Ben Simmons can ball. I really do, and I think he's extremely overhated in my opinion. Um, but shit, yeah, that's it. That's honestly it. I think Ben Simmons can ball out, and I think that he's a lot better than a lot of people want to give him credit for. And I love how mad he makes Boston Celtics fans, because Celtics fans, the way Boston Celtics fans looks at Ben Simmons, man, it's crazy. Like they genuinely think the guy is trash. And in a lot of games, I can see where you're coming from. And a lot of times, I watch Ben Simmons, I'm like, yo, yeah, this man is ass. He is trash. But then I turn the TV on, and the next time I come around, this boy's running point. He's looking like fucking Magic Johnson out here balling out. I'm just saying. I mean, he's a strap on defense, and he can make plays on offense too. But I think like his defensive impact is huge. In Philadelphia, you look at Philadelphia, their defense is amazing, and you look at the past NBA champions. As good as the past champions' offense has been, their defense has been amazing. The defense is what wins. Defense is what wins championships. It's cliche as fuck to say, but it's the truth. It's the fact of the matter. That defense will win you championships. Look at the Lakers last year. Great offensive team, but holy shit, that defense is good. Holy fuck, could that defense play basketball? The Golden State Warriors, they're not a dynasty without the defense. Their defense was amazing. Cleveland Cavaliers, when they won it, they had to find a way to stop them. They had to find a way to stop the Golden State Warriors. They held the Warriors to less than 90 points in Game 7 in 2016. Defense is what's going to get you the championships. And Philadelphia, they got defense. I don't know if Brooklyn's got defense. They don't. But there's of course going to be anomalies. That's what I think this year is. I don't like Brooklyn doesn't have the defense, but shit, they got Harden, Kyrie, and fucking Kevin Durant, so it doesn't really matter about defense. Let's move on to the Western Conference. The Clippers, Suns, Jazz, Nuggets, and Lakers are all looking really good right now. And I like all those teams other than the Lakers. And honestly, I've kind of first of all, I would like to say Lakers are my prediction. They are my pick to win the championship this year. I'm not a Lakers fan, never have been, never will be. I do not like that team, but I think voice crack. But I think they're gonna win the championship this year. I think they're gonna go back to back, and I think King James is gonna win himself a Finals MVP, his 5th championship, his 5th Finals MVP, and when it's all said and done, I'm gonna call him the GOAT. I'm going to call LeBron the GOAT at the end of this year. I'm predicting that that's going to happen. If he doesn't win the championship, I don't know. We'll see. He might not be the GOAT in my eyes because, let's be real, I love Michael Jordan. But yeah, so out of the Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Nuggets, and Jazz, which team is going out in the first round? Which team is going out first? Now, I might take this a step further and saying there might be 2 teams here that go in the first round because the Portland Trailblazers are no joke in the first round. I want to make this clear. The Portland Trailblazers are no joke in the first round. Damian Dollar is no joke in the first round of the playoffs. He isn't. And I just want to rewind a little bit to last year in the bubble. People were genuinely predicting Portland to beat the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember when people were saying Portland's going to win against the Lakers? And Portland won game 1 against the Lakers last year in the first round. But people were genuinely saying Portland's going to beat the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. And the reason is Portland in the first round is no joke. And I could see them right now. They're a 6th seed right now. As things stand in the Western Conference, it'd be Philly versus, in the West, sorry. It'd be the Jazz versus the Grizzlies. I'll give that to the Jazz. I think Jazz, they're going to go through the first round. And as things stand right now, Suns versus Mavericks. I'd give that to the Suns, but again, upsets. That's a series where I could say, hey, Dallas might take that. Just like how Dallas almost beat the Clippers last year, I could see them taking down the Nets this year. And as things stand, it'd be Clippers versus Portland Trailblazers. That's a series that series I don't think really fits Portland, or Portland doesn't match up too well with the Clippers, I don't think. But if the Nuggets move into 3 and the Blazers stay at 6, or I think Blazers, they could beat the Nuggets. I think Blazers can beat the Suns, and I think Blazers can beat the Jazz. I think Lakers and the Clippers are kind of through. But if I'm gonna pick one team to go home in the first round for out of the Big Five in the Western Conference, out of Utah, Phoenix, Clippers, Lakers, and Nuggets, if I'm gonna pick one of those teams to go home in the first round, for me, I mean, it has to be the Denver Nuggets, and it's because the unfortunate injury of Jamal Murray, which is too bad, which sucks. But I'm cheering for the Nuggets. I'm cheering for the Nuggets. I really want the Nuggets to win. I mean, if my Spurs aren't in it, Spurs are 10th right now. But if the Spurs aren't in the playoffs, fuck it. I'm cheering for the Denver Nuggets to win the NBA championship. And if the Nuggets don't win it, I'm cheering for the Utah Jazz to win the championship. I promise I'm not racist. I like that team a lot. I don't know why. I fuck with that team a lot. I'm not I promise I'm not racist, bro. But yeah, I mean, and I'm hyped for the playoffs right now. Honestly, hype. Memphis right now in the 8th seed. I kind of want to see Golden State sneak up in that 8th seed, but I sort of feel bad for the Memphis Grizzlies because last year they came so close to the playoffs before losing to Portland, I think it was in the play-in games. Um, yeah, but out of the big five in the Western Conference right now, I think the Denver Nuggets are the team that's gonna go out that's gonna go out first. Um, and again, it's because of the injuries. But I really want the Nuggets to win, man. I would love to see Nikola Jokic go out there and win himself an NBA championship. That'd be so fucking sick, man. I would love, that'd be fucking awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, it's sort of weird. Like every single year before the playoffs start, um, it went like recently. Now that the Spurs haven't really been contending, or the Spurs are kind of out right away if they do make the playoffs, I kind of have to pick that one team that I want to go through all the way. Last year, I wanted to see the Houston Rockets win the whole thing. This year, it's first and foremost is the Nuggets. Second is the Jazz. Third are the Clippers. Fourth, I'd like to see Brooklyn win just because I like James Harden a lot. Fourth is probably Brooklyn, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of want to see. I just want to see James Harden win a championship. That's it. I'd like to see the Sun or fucking Chris Paul, bro. Phoenix Suns, man. Phoenix might be the team I rock with. Phoenix might be my team that I gotta rock with. If the Spurs don't make it that far. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really want to talk about. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I needed to make a podcast today just because I haven't made one in a long time, and I need to feel a little bit productive at least. That's why this is so short. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. That's what he said. And yeah, I really wanted to make more content. I really want to make more podcasts, and my goal is to make 50 podcast episodes for this season, and we're on episode 25 right now, so I'm gonna have to start pumping them out come playoff time. And I'm hyped for it. And I think I can do it. I think I can make 25 more episodes. But like the thing is, man, like I got dreams and shit, and I got goals I want to accomplish right now in life, and like doing podcasts and stuff is a big part of what I want to do in the future. But like fucking life's a bitch, man. Life be throwing all types of shit your way. Um, School sucks ass. It's all online, and now I got practicum coming up, and for the next month I'm gonna be stressed out as shit, and work gets in the way, and just little personal shit always gets in the way, and that's why I kind of want to say sorry that I don't really post that many podcasts nowadays, even though it's what I love doing, and I'm sure like y'all honestly don't give a fuck, but like I just kind of wanted to say that because I don't know, man, just like shit gets in the way sometimes. My dream in life is to make a living creating sports content, mainly about the NBA. And I try to do that as much as I can. And I love doing that. It's the thing I love doing most in the world right now. But, you know, shit just comes in the way of your dreams. Shit stands in the way of your dreams all the time. Life happens, and life can be a bitch sometimes. But I gotta say, honestly, if you're still listening to this right now, I appreciate you a lot. Genuinely means the world to me. Y'all can clip what I just said, play that back in 10 years when I made it, and shit, I'm gonna look really good. I'm gonna look really good. I hope I have longer hair, man. I hope I have curls in 10 years. I shouldn't have gotten a haircut, bro. Fuck. Whatever. They'll grow back, right? Hope. Um, yeah. That was a weird ending to that episode. Anyway, y'all, it's been Baller Nation, episode 25 off the dome. I appreciate you for watching all the way through or listening all the way through. Kanye West, Michael Dean, hit him with the outro music, baby.
Let me get more volume.